Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Beanie and welcome back to another player review episode. I'm sorry guys, I had to just put out like a quick video today because I found out yesterday I'm going to be insanely busy today. I've got a lot of stuff going on, but to make it up to you guys, I'm thinking about doing a stream later on tonight. I don't know, it'll probably be around like 7 or 8 o'clock if I decide to do it. I'm not 100% on it. It just depends on if I can get everything else done. But being so busy today, I had to wait. I decided I was going to wake up really early, get one of these player reviews done because there are some cards that have come out, you know, since yesterday that, and then there were some cards that I just missed, in the last content update that I didn't review that I thought kind of merited, going over. And so yeah guys, let me know, and if I do end up doing the stream today, probably what it's gonna be, you'll probably just come hang out. I'm probably not gonna, I may play like a viewer game or two or something like that, but a lot of it is gonna be me grinding the Roy Oswalt program because I really want that Oswalt, and you'll see why whenever I go to review him later. But yeah, let me know if that's something that you would want, just to stream, just hanging out with me, grinding. I don't really know, guys. You know, I'm kind of new to the whole streaming thing, so yeah, just let me know. Anyways, let's get into the player review. That kind of fucking rhymes. Okay, guys, the first one that I want to talk about is the 87 breakout Jason Mott, and I missed this guy last time. I think he may have come into the ticket counter and I just kind of scrolled over him or something. I don't know. Maybe it was a player epic, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But I know that that he is a relatively new card and that I missed him. And this is a really intriguing relief pitcher. He has fantastic per nines, 93, 92, very solid for a gold or higher reliever. He has 78 walk per nine and decent control. All those things are fine. And he has really good velocity and break too. So, you know, like all of those things kind of add up to an elite pitcher. But I'm wondering if there are some things that hold him back. First of all, his pitch selection is okay, but he doesn't really have any breaking balls. He has a 4-seam, 2-seam cutter and changeup, which is great. But if he had like a curveball or a slider or something like that, I would be probably a lot more comfortable with him. But the good news is that you can, it doesn't work exactly the same way, but that cutter, if it is effective, it can be used kind of analogous, is that the right word? Analogous? I'm not sure. To the slider. Like, it can be a similar pitch, especially to righties, and you can use it in a similar way that you would a slider. And it can be used in ways that sliders aren't used, like backdooring it into a right-handed hitter or something like that. So, you know, the cutter, hell, like, if he were just 4-seam, 2-seam changeup, I would say probably avoid this card. But because that cutter does have some off-speed tendencies to it, I would say this is probably a really effective card. And the fact that he throws really hard and he has good changeup and he has really good per nines and good control and all that, he checks all the boxes except pitch selection. And if you're really good with a cutter, he even checks that box too. So I think this guy is going to play well above average for you. I don't think that he is going to be like an elite relief pitcher, but I think he's going to be very solid for you. So with that said, I ended up giving him a fag of a 7.7. Okay, and after this card, I'm going to talk about the card that I really want to talk about. But first, I want to go over this 81 overall Ben Revere card. I typically try to avoid talking about silvers, even though I've talked about some in the past and reviewing them. But I think that this is a guy who is worth going over because he has 3 tools that are extremely loud. First of all, he has fantastic contact and vision. Your PCI is going to be huge. He's going to make solid contact with the ball. The problem is he has virtually no power at all. You're not going to be getting great exit velocities. You're definitely going to have to hit to contact with this guy. But, I mean, honestly, there's not a lot of difference between this card and like an Ichiro, except that Ichiro has arm strength and his fielding, I guess, is a little bit better. But offensively, this card is almost the same. I mean, I guess his contact versus righties isn't as good, but for an 81 silver, guys, this is a really, really valuable card. And he could be an insanely good leadoff hitter for you that provides you decent defense out there in center field, albeit with a noodle of an arm. But his 3 tools are just so loud. He has, you know, a great hit tool and vision and all that. He has insane speed, some of the best speed in the game, 96, 98, 99 on the speed stealing, base running aggressiveness front. And that helps him in the field where he has 87 reaction and 82 fielding. He's going to cover a ton of ground for you. I think that this is honestly probably one of the most valuable silvers in the game. And, you know, he's very comparable, I guess, to the 82 overall Kenny Lofton, except this Kenny Lofton card doesn't have the speed. So, you know, even though the Kenny Lofton is probably a marginally better hitter, I think I would go with the 81 Ben Revere just because he has all that speed and would be so effective for you. So, because of that, I ended up putting his fag at a whopping 6.3. I don't think he's going to be, like, insane for you. Like, I don't think he is, you know, a guy that you would want to start if you have like an overpowered team or something like that. But I do think on a team like that, he could get some utility off the bench as a pinch runner. And if you have a budget team or you're doing an event where he is eligible for it, I think this guy would be incredible. So, yeah, 6.3 fag, or did I say, yeah, 6.3 fag for the 81 overall Ben Revere. Okay, now we're going to talk about the card that I want to talk about so bad. This card I'm so pumped over, guys. The 93 overall Roy Oswalt. As you can see, born and raised Mississippi. He's a Mississippi brother. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've got that. Mississippi is very close-knit. And anytime somebody comes out of Mississippi, we get really, really excited about it. Because it doesn't happen all the time. I mean, I guess we have, like, Billy Hamilton and Brian Dozier right now. You know what I mean? But anyways, this card, even on its own merits, is great. A lot of people may be scared off by that 69 hit per 9. I'm not really, because K per 9, I'm sorry. I'm not really scared off by that because his hit per 9 is so good, 94 hit per 9. So I kind of take those two together. Like, I never look at each one individually, and that could be a problem on my part. I don't know. But let's just say you subtract 14 off of the hit per 9 and add 14 to the K per 9, and you're sitting at 80 hit per 9 and 83 K per 9, and that is solidly above average for a starting pitcher. And they kind of work hand in hand together. You know, one works against contact, the other works against vision, but when you put the two together, they end up being kind of similar attributes, and they do kind of the same thing, even though, you know, there are a few like intrinsic little things that they do differently, but I think 94-69 is plenty to get the job done for you. And he has 75 walk per 9, so he's going to have decent control for you no matter what interface you use. And he throws hard, and he has good break. I mean, he doesn't throw extremely hard. He has 79 velocity with 79 break. I mean, it's not anything that's going to just wow you, but his pitch selection is so good for a starting pitcher, guys. 4-seam fastball, changeup, sinker. Those are his 3 frontline pitches. Those are the 3 pitches that he throws the best. Then he has 2 very effective off-speed pitches, a 12-6 and a slider. You know, those are kind of down the scope. You know, those are his 4 and 5 pitches. But if you can throw those even semi-effectively to set up the 4-seam, the sinker, and the changeup, you can have guys spinning in circles with this card. And you know I love the sinker. If you can have a guy like Roy Oswalt that throws a power sinker effectively, my goodness, it is so valuable. And the great thing about this card is you get him from a program. Like, all you have to do is really just grind. And I noticed that you don't even have to grind online. Like, I think you can acquire this card just completely grinding offline, which is amazing. They're basically just giving you this card for nothing if you work at it just like a little bit, you know? So this card is amazing. I love it. He will definitely see time in my rotation. I'm gonna grind for him tonight. Let me know if you guys want to see that on stream. And I ended up giving this guy a fag of an 8.5. Okay, and another guy that I kind of missed talking about was the 86 overall Adam Eaton. And first of all, his card art, I love that card art. That looks amazing. That's really, really cool card art. I love it. But, you know, that really doesn't help you much in game. But this guy really is kind of a 5-tool guy. I mean, his power, I guess, is a little below average, but it's still gonna be enough to get the job done versus righties. Against lefties, you know, a little less so. But he has solid contact, 79, 78, 60, with 67 power versus righties, 31 versus lefties, 72 vision. He's a monster defensively, 92, 90 reaction and fielding, and 86 arm strength. That is great. That's definitely good enough to plug in right, left, or center. And the 79 speed helps out in that department. His stealing isn't the best, but you know, you can find ways to get around that. You know, he's not, I don't think this guy's a 5-tool in the sense that he does everything amazingly, but he's a 5-tool in the sense that he's above average at almost everything except maybe power. He's probably a little below average. But this is a really, really solid card across the board. I think he's going to be well above average for you. So I put his fag at a 7.0. That felt a little high when I put it on there, but I couldn't really justify going any lower just because he does so many things well. And this is a card that I could definitely see you using like in events or something like that. Now, guys, I skipped this segment last time, but I'm going to come back to it. This is something that I want to keep doing. I think I kind of liked it, and I think you guys kind of liked it last time I did it. So let's get into another segment of Beanie's Pick. Beanie's Pick, a Beanie's Pick. It's Beanie's motherfucking pick. Suck my dick, bitch. Okay, guys, today Beanie's pick is the 88 overall Steve Pearce. And this is a guy that you got a few weeks ago for I think it was like for one of the events or something like that. And, you know, I kind of ignored it along with everyone else. But once I started looking at it, I was like, you know, this is a card that you could get some utility out of, especially off the bench. This is a guy that you could plug on your bench, and if let's say that you have like a Curtis Granderson or something, or somebody who is really, really platoon heavy and it favors righties, a lefty that just smashes right-handed pitching, this guy is going to be invaluable on your bench. And at this point in the year, almost everybody has a guy like that in their lineup, and they're looking for a platoon. This is a guy that can be had for under 10,000 stubs. He has really solid hitting stats against righties too, but he mashes left-handed pitching, 91, 96. I mean, this guy is basically elite versus lefties, and he can fill 3 different positions. He can fill first base, left field, or right field. Defensively, he is not going to be great for you, definitely below average, well below average even. He doesn't have a lot of speed. This guy is purely a bat that you're going to have on your bench, but you know, I think that if you have to get by with bad defense at one position for a couple innings, if you plan on platooning a guy, you can do that, and it's not going to hurt you too bad most of the time. The one thing I will say is I was kind of disappointed that this guy wasn't more of a super utility player, because I believe the live series also has like second base and maybe third base as a secondary. Definitely second base. And whenever I saw that this one didn't have that, I was pretty disappointed in it, because that would have made this card insanely valuable. But right now he's just really valuable, and I ended up putting his fag at a 7.1. Just above Eaton in terms of utility, just because I think that this is a guy who would probably see a little bit more time on your team than the Eaton would. So that is Beanie's pick for this episode, and that is going to end this episode of Player Reviews. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to get a quick video that'd be quick to edit and do all that to get it up, because today is just crazy. But yeah, if you guys want to watch me stream tonight and grind for that Roy Oswalt, let me know in the comments, and that's something that I would definitely consider doing. But anyways, guys, I will see y'all on the flip side. That was really gay of me to say. So, yeah, peace.